This is more for somebody that like, they just heard about the concept of rank and rent and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. To those people, what was your biggest draw to this model?
Great question. Man, well, I'd say that when you're selling a service like marketing, the dynamic of the relationship from the start is completely different because you're asking for money right away. And on top of that, you're selling a promise, not a result, as opposed to rank and rent, where you come to this person giving, not asking, right? So I was like, wow, this sounds very interesting because I could just approach a business owner that wants something that I already have, right? As opposed to me asking for his credit card without even knowing him. And on top of that, when you're doing the traditional SEO or when you're doing the PR, it's like, you don't know that you can deliver results in the first place, right? Like, you could do your due diligence before you reach out to these people, but you're not 100% sure you can deliver. So like, those are the things that really just like sparked my interest. And that's what made me like gravitate towards like the rank and rent model, because it's beautiful. It's completely different. And I used to do cold calling, don't get me wrong, with my marketing, but like now that I do cold calling with rank and rent, it's just so easy. Like, zero nerves, I'm super chill because I know that I have something that they want, right? So I'm in a position of power.
Dude, you dropped a good line. You're selling a promise, not a result. Pretty dope line, bro. I'm impressed. So here's a question for you. What went through your head when you were like, ah, shit, like I'm doing the lawn mowing stuff and the whole thing, and that's the family business, and I don't know. I just found out about this guy a couple days. Here we are on the call. He's wanting me to spend money with him, and you just sent it, dude. Like, what mentally was your thoughts? Were you like, oh, I know I'll get a deal? Like, was it just a confidence thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a confidence thing. And I'd say besides that, you told me something that was very interesting, and that's how you got me on the hook. Because as you all know, when you rank a site, it takes time. It's not something that's overnight. And then you, Nick, you told me, man, I know a way to pre-sell these sites, or, you know, get the credit card and then rank the site. I was like, okay, that's what I need. Because at the time I had the money to invest into sites and your program and things like that, but I couldn't wait around 3 months to then sell the site. You know what I mean? So that was like the first thing that really kind of made me go and make the decision to work with you. And on top of that, I just can't waste time. You know what I mean? And like, that's what really just made me go forward with it.
Tell me this. Let's talk really quickly about like kind of where you're at now. So the day before we talked, you were making $0 from marketing. You were making all of your money working in the family business. As of today, which has been about 90 days, you are now at $4,000 per month. That's 4 deals. So you're averaging over a deal a month. So tell us really quick, like, about that first deal. How many people did you have to get to the Zoom close to get to that first deal?
Just one.
So you closed the first one?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I love that. What niches are you in? Like, I'm guessing you're in concrete, if I had to guess, and you're probably in spray foam. What other ones are you in?
I'm doing concrete mainly, and then I'm also doing artificial grass, which I just started getting into that niche like a week ago.
I really like that industry. This is my thoughts on that industry. Is it getting less popular or more popular?
Artificial grass?
Yeah, of course it's getting more popular, right? Like, I feel like that artificial grass, I can see the trend, and I haven't even looked at this, but I bet if you looked at Google Trends, I bet you're going to see this huge uptick over the last couple of years. It's getting way more popular than it was. It used to be like kind of like a ghetto thing that you threw out in front of your trailer. Now it's like super, dude, I have it all over my house. I don't have any real grass.
Right. I was talking to a business owner. He told me that in a couple years, I think it's Arizona or some other state, it's going to become mandatory.
There's a little tip, guys.
That's good for us, man.
Let's go and smoke. So let me ask you this question. Once you got in and you started like just going through the process, were you nervous to make those first couple calls? Because in your head, you were maybe thinking, well, I used to do cold calling for PR and you used to get nervous for that. Like, did you have any nerves, or is it because of the product you were selling, you didn't feel any nerves from day one? Or was that like a natural process of that you had to kind of get used to?
Well, I think there's always going to be some degree of nerves when you're doing a phone call, especially a cold call. But in comparison to doing the cold calling before to now, when I do have something that the business owner wants, is completely different. Something I want to say is like, doesn't matter how nervous you are, like just pick up the phone and make the call. Like it doesn't matter. Even if you completely fail, you're still going to get those reps in, right? And you're still going to, go into a situation where it's difficult, but like that makes you become better at it, right? So like, it doesn't matter how much nerves you have, just do it. Just full send it, man.
And I love saying that to people when they join my program. I'm like, look, there's good news and bad news. Here's the good news. Good news is you have all the missing pieces. Here's the scripts. Here's the ad copy. Here's the whole thing that I've done to build a 7-figure company. Bad news is you got to do the fucking work now.
I remember before I had a mentor, he told me, man, don't go through all the content, just start implementing, right? And so that kind of stuck with me. And when I got into your program, the first thing I did was like Google Ads, set up, boom, 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 got a lead, call the business owner, because that's what's going to make me the money. Yeah, it's great to practice, it's great to rehearse, it's great to go through the training, but like you still have to take action. So that's the first thing you have to do is just go for it.
I want to talk about the first one. How many leads do you have to send?
When I set up the ad, I send them 3 leads in 2 days and I closed them on the 3rd day. So it was very exciting, man, especially because it was the first deal.
That's why I always say, you guys are like, oh my gosh, money loves speed, bro. Let's just get on and share something that people can actually benefit from. So that's what I want to ask you really quick as we end is somebody that's just like maybe hearing about it, kind of in your shoes, right? Like they know that they want to make money online. They love the idea of the business model. What advice would you give them? Just like if you could go back 90 days, is there any advice you would give yourself 90 days ago? You've done a damn good job, but is there any advice you would tell yourself 90 days ago?
The first thing I would say, which might sound a little bit cliche, is just like full send it. Like that's what I did. I met Nick the day before, the next day we were already working together, right? And the reason why was because I was hungry for knowledge. I was hungry to understand the business, right? And so the first thing I could say is like, just take action like as quickly as possible. And then on top of that, like probably getting a little bit technical. I think the key to this business model in order for you to grow it very quickly is to sense the business owner from the first call. And I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but that's what I feel, because it can turn into the biggest waste of time, like it happened with my buddy, where you do the initial agreement that you're going to send them leads, but then all of a sudden you do all this work for them, not to mention you invest all this money, and they just completely ghost you, right? So I feel like it's worth you doing some pullbacks on the start, on the first call, right, on the prospecting call, doing a bit of pullbacks and just making sure that the business owner is going to be the right fit. Because if they agree to get free leads from you and they also have the right mindset going into it, you're going to close that deal. Because here's the thing, Nick has said it a million times and I'll say it once. It's like you get the deal, like the sale happens when you send the free leads, right? And I say this based on experience because guys, before I used to do the traditional marketing, which is so hard to get the deal. You get so many objections. You have to do all these rebuttals. You have to do so many things in order to get the sale. Like this is so easy. It's just like the leads are going to make the sale for you. And once you send a screencast, you do all these things. And once you get on the call, it's like, I'm just here to collect the credit card. Yeah, we'll kind of recap, everything, yada, yada. But like, I know I'm going to get the deal. Like, that's how I feel personally. I don't know how the rest of the people feel, but like, that's how I feel. If I get them on the Zoom, I know I'm going to close them. Like if they went with me, if they followed me from the start, leads, screencast, all that stuff onto the Zoom call, those people are, in my opinion, completely sold. Now, you won't get the sale if you're a complete idiot on the call, but as long as you get on the call and you're yourself and like you do a semi-decent job, you're going to get the deal, right? So to recap, just make sure you find the right business owner because it's really going to pay off in the long run. I hope that helps.